young lawyers and law students are beginning to think of research and principally legal writing, right? So I'm so glad to be in your midst. Just to correct something that was read during the introduction, NULA is not a network of universities, it's a network of the university legal aid institutions. Essentially a network of all law clinics in Nigeria. And at the moment, we have 45 registered law clinics in 45 different tertiary institutions in Nigeria under our network. So it's a network of universities legal aid institution. And the radio show is called Sabi Law on the Beat, from the popular pidgin parlance of Sabi, knowing. So it's literally no law, Sabi Law Foundation. Sabi Law Foundation. Ike, please, can you mute yourself? No law, Sabi Law Foundation. Ike, can you mute yourself?
Yeah, I've done that. Good evening.
All right. So Sabi Law Foundation are the sponsors of Sabi Law on the Beat FM, Sabi Law Video Challenge, Sabi Law Legal Challenge, and of course, you must have seen or you must have heard of Daily Law Tips by Learn Nigerian Laws. So you could visit our website, learnnigerianlaws.com, to view a whole lot of legal articles that are published there. So today, the objective of this session is legal research, legal writing. Why should a law student write? What is there in writing? So I would, of course, if you've been in any session I've handled before, you will know that I prefer an interactive session. So whereas we want everyone muted so that we can hear ourselves, if you want to talk, you could just put up your hand using the raise hand option on your screen, and then we'll see you and we'll call you, and then you can unmute yourself and talk. So I want to start by asking some questions. One is, what is legal research? I would like to know what you all think about legal research and writing. So we are just 14 of us in the meeting, so we could go around, but because of time, let's have 2 or 3 people tell us what they understand by legal research or writing.
Okay, sir. I think somebody dropped a message on the chat. If I can read about that. Hello, sir.
Hello, Ike. I didn't get you clearly.
Yeah, I think somebody dropped an answer on the chat box. If I can read out.
I'm looking at the chat box too. There is no answer there yet, but if I see anyone, I'll pick it from there.
Okay, and 2 persons also raising hand.
So I really don't want you to go Googling or to go giving me long or lengthy answers, right? I just need your understanding, your basic understanding. It will help us to know how to proceed, your basic understanding, because if I don't know the level of your understanding of the subject at this time, then there will be no way to measure if anything has been passed on at the end of the session. So don't go looking for books, looking for sources, looking for materials. Just tell me your basic understanding. When you hear the word legal research and writing, what comes to your mind?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, please.
Yes, sir. My name is Nathan Ibrahim, a 200 level law student at Edo State University. What I understand by the term legal research is that it is a process that has to do with someone looking for authorities, maybe statutory authority, judicial authority, or opinion of an author in a journal or textbook like that to support one's argument, either in court or in moot court in the university, or to support a decision of a judge, or a judge like to support his decision, like has to go and look for authorities and all this. And that's what I understand by legal research, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Nathan. I think, okay, it would be good to even break it down. What is research and what is writing? Because it seems the word legal added to it is making some of us not to understand what it is.
All right. Good evening, sir. Good evening. Can you hear me, sir? Hello. Good evening, sir.
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
All right, sir. When we talk about research, it has to do with you sourcing for more information about a particular a particular person or a particular thing. You just go in extra mile to have more information or more details about something, sir. Now, why research has to do with reducing the information probably you have into writing, or probably taking down what you have actually gotten from your research, sir.
Sorry, Adesuo, can you Adesujo, can you
Yes,
say
sir.
that again?
Like when we talk about research, research has to do with you sorting out for more information about something or someone. Are you getting, sir? Hello, can you hear me? So why on the other
Yes,
hand?
I can hear you.
Good. So why on the other hand, when you talk about writing, it just has to do with putting down certain information on a paper or probably on a platform where it could actually be visible, something visible. That has to do with writing. So research has to do with two sources for information. It can be visible. It is visible. Then when it is being reduced into on paper or on platform, then it becomes writing, sir.
Okay, I think the network was breaking again. I still didn't get you all that clearly. All right, let's someone else. I think a female, a lady, just tell us what you understand by research and writing. Remove the legal from it. Just tell us what you understand by research and writing. Hello?
Yeah, we teacher. Yeah, we teacher. We can hear you clearly.
Yeah, I asked for a lady to tell us what they understand. Or would I have a lady here? I'm sure we'll have a lady. The person who introduced me was a lady. Just tell us what you understand by research and writing.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Joy. Joy, it seems you are the only lady here, so you have to bear that cost for us.
Okay. A research is like a systematic digging deep to increase your knowledge. To my own understanding, I believe a research is like digging deep, searching for sources and materials to increase your knowledge on a particular matter. While writing is like putting down all that you've gathered and learned in a piece. That's it for me.
Very, very, very perfect, Joy. Very perfect. I agree with you. At this stage, I'm tempted to adopt the decision of my learned sister at this time. You see why I say ladies should be talking. See how Joy just took every bit of what I wanted to say from my mouth, right? So legal research and writing is a very component of the life of every lawyer. Every lawyer, it is a very important component of your life, and you cannot do without legal research and writing, right? So legal research essentially is the activity, it's something you do, and what is your aim in doing that thing? So one, legal research is not a passive phrase. It's not a passive, it's an action word. It's a doing word, or let me use the local parlance, it's a doing. You know, we say doing is to get levels in Nigeria. So legal research is a doing. But this doing is very important for every lawyer, for every law student. Now, what is the aim of legal research? Analyzing, collecting information. Analyzing, collecting information. Analyzing, gathering of information. It may be for different reasons. It may be because you want to prepare a legal opinion. It may be because you want to draft a contract. It may be because you want to do anything. Anytime you conduct an analysis, or you conduct a study, or you collect information for the basis of preparing any legal document, that is legal research. Now, when you collect this information and you write it down for publishing, or for whatever reasons, it turns to writing. Now, legal writing is a form of technical writing that is carried out by those lawyers, those in the legal sector, lawyers, judges, blah, blah, blah. Those, it can be to get reasons to support your client's case. It might be to get reasons to tell your client whether to do or not to do a thing. That's legal opinion. But that entails legal writing, right? Now, what is the importance of legal writing? What is the importance of legal writing? Can someone tell us why they think legal writing is important? Just type it up in the chat box so we don't waste time. Just type it up in the chat box. Type up why you think legal writing is important. Except you want to speak, you can speak. Because of network, type it up in the chat box. So while you are typing up that, it may be good for me to point out to you that there are several types of legal research. Several types of legal research. But for you to conduct a proper legal research, you must do 4 things. First is that you must properly analyze the given situation or case. Second is that you have to analyze all the facts that are associated with that given situation you are writing or case. Third is that you must validate the information you've collected or the facts you've gathered. What do you mean by validation? It mustn't just be from one source. You have to look at it from several sources. Validate it, make sure it is true, make sure it is valid. Then, sorry, can you unmute yourself? That's why I said you should type. I'm using a headset, and then when you speak, it gets directly to the ears. Sorry for that, but please try and mute yourselves. Thank you. So, when you validated the information or the facts you've collected, you now apply the results that you've seen during similar situations. So how has the courts applied this? What is the position? So you are now getting a position. Now, legal research, for you to do research, there are 3 types. 3 types. And these 3 types could also be called sources. What are the sources when you are doing your research? The first source you have to get is what we're known as the primary source. Of course, if you've done legal research in your in the university, you will know they will teach you this. Now, the primary source, it talks about laws. For instance, the Constitution, decisions of the court, the law, different laws and decisions of the court form your primary source. Now, your secondary source are all textbooks, legal documents, legal opinions, opinions of individuals, newspaper sources that people have expressed their opinions. And then there is a third source called the persuasive primary source. Now, it is primary, but it is persuasive. It includes all sources of laws that are not binding on the courts. Now, let's come back to the importance of legal research and writing, like I've asked. Let me look at what some persons have put up in the chat box. Okay, so Nathan says it helps us solve issues. Nathan says it helps us solve issues. Joy says it's important because it helps enhance our knowledge. Yep. Ike says it helps one to enlarge his knowledge and deep understanding. Yeah. Clarity about a particular subject matter. Stephen says it provides solutions to problems in the society and helps in informing the public. Exactly. That's an aspect of legal research, does that. Now, legal research can determine whether a legal issue is a case of first impression that is unregulated or lacks precedence. Fine. You all are very right in your various ways and opinions. Now, legal research is very essential for the proper analysis of new statutes introduced in the field. So you can be doing a research and your goal is to review a new law, review an existing law. It can be to look at, oh, okay, in this area of law, let me even do a research to find out if there's any law that is existing. Legal research can be to collect proper supportive facts or information to solve a particular problem. So you are in court and something is going on, a case is going a way you don't understand, you need legal research to find out what to do in that situation. Now, legal research is also essential for legal institutions, the Ministry of Justice, for every ministry, for every parastatal, for every aspect of human living. Legal research helps to impart the knowledge of different laws, especially if your audience. Now, let me say this at this point. When you are making a legal research and you're writing, you must clearly know who your audience is. Who are you writing for? Who or what are you writing for? If you don't know the purpose of a thing, you will abuse it. If you don't know the reason you are writing, you will definitely not write well. If you don't know who you are writing for, you will definitely not write well. For instance, for us at Sabil Law, we believe that our audience are Nigerians who are not majorly lawyers. So we try as much as we can to break down the laws in simple terms, including asking people to do videos in Pidgin English. So for instance, if you see our articles on Learn Nigerian Laws or Sabil Law, and you see our articles in journals, they are not going to be the same thing. So when you're writing, it's like I saw one lawyer writing something on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and they're using technical terms, quoting cases, making reference, all those things. Fine and good article for publication in a journal. But for the purpose, which is social media, people have attention spans. So what is the attention span of your audience? What do they want to read? How do they want to read it? If you come to people who do not speak English and you're writing in English, brethren, you are wasting your time. So you must know your audience. So legal research is important for institutions because it helps make their work very easy. Now, legal research and writing is an essential tool for solving disputes, like we are arguing issues in courts and all that. Legal research also helps in strengthening the foundations of already declared rules and statutes. So for instance, you know, when judges are looking at cases, they look at articles, they look at books. Now, legal research could also be to write a book. Like someone was asked, okay, let me ask this question. Between the judge, the lawyer, the lawmaker, and the law teacher, who do you think makes the law and why?
I think the judge makes the judgment. Sir, can you hear me, sir?
Type it up in the chat box. Type it up in the chat box. IK. It's breaking. Type it up. Just say the judge, this is my reason. The lawyer, this is my reason. The legislature, this is my reason. The law teacher, this is my reason. Okay, Jamil, can you also tell us why you think is the lawmakers? Just put it up there. Okay, Jamil has made a very solid argument that they are saddled with the sole duty as provided in the Constitution. Fine, fine. Someone else, anybody with a contrary view or with a supporting view? Mohammed, if you mute yourself, it will help us. Mohammed, admin, you can host, you can mute Mohammed, please. Okay, IK also has a very solid argument here that the judge, his reason is that being that some judgment form parts of the case law or the legislature, the basic body. Okay, the judge, my reason is that the judge determine what the law is. Okay. Two people have said the judge. IK was trying to sit on the fence by also adding the legislature. Clinton also said the judiciary. Jamil insists it's the legislature. Now, let me ask you a very simple question. When the judges want to take decisions, or even before they became judges, they read books, right? They were taught by teachers. They read books written by researchers. They still read articles written by researchers. They still do a lot of reading. When lawmakers need to make their laws, they have legal advisors, they have legislative aides, they still read books, they were taught from books, they look at people's analysis of the law, and they look at the books, right? So at the end of all this, knowing that both the judge, the legislature, and even the lawyer all look at the books to do their roles, to play their duties. Who do you think? Dorcas, please mute yourself. Thank you. Who do you think is now the very important person that influences the decision of both the judges, the legislature, and the lawyers? Thank you, Stephen, Nathan. The law teacher is a researcher. So let's just use researcher because, well, not all law teachers write. So, but a researcher is the one who researches and writes. So you see how important the role of a researcher is. You see how important the role of a researcher is. I want to be so excited that in a given decision, a given case, the judge, the House of Assembly member, the lawyer refers to your work, refers to the line of argument you've taken to make their own points. So you see how very important the role of a researcher is. I'll just move to tips. Some of the tips, there are so many things. I told Ike, we can't exhaust everything, but there are so many tips I think you would need to find out. But I want to find out, where do you source your materials when you're doing research? I know every law student is supposed to be a researcher. Every law student is supposed to be a researcher. Your assignments, your exams require you to do some research. And you're going to write a long essay to pass your degree exams, to get your LLB degrees. You are going to write a research work, right? So can I hear your sources of research? Yeah, Jamu said Google, very fine. I want to start by saying this is your spelling of Google. It's not the actual spelling, no, it's not correct. So check it again. Google it. Jamil, Google the spelling of Google. Okay, I'm sure Jamil didn't pick offense at my asking him to Google the spelling of Google. So it's not spelled Google, it's Google. Okay. Journals, okay. The internet, where in the internet, the library, where in the library. Those are not sources. Law Pavilion gives you case law. So case law is a source here. Law reports, yeah, statutes, case laws, fine. Now, one of the sources you should know, Google is not a very good source for scholarly writings. For academic writings, instead of Google, you could try Google Scholar. Google Scholar gives you a more professional insight. So I'm sure you know where to find your research. When you go to the libraries, you have to go through statutes, case laws, look at the cases, articles in reference book. Yeah, correct, very correct. Articles written by scholars. Then the best place, one of the best places you could find articles written by scholars is on Google Scholar. Then you can also check sites like research.net. There are so many other sites. And recently, there are online journals that would really be of very good help to you. So now let me talk about research tips, research writing tips. One, you have to, when searching whether your library, whether your internet, whether Google Scholar, whether any journal, you have to use search. Sorry. You have to use search filters. Now, search filters, these filters will be able to let you know what you're looking for. So for instance, if you're looking for child right and you type child right, you're going to obviously see things relating to child right all over the world. But if your interest is in child rights in Nigeria, it will be good to filter your search to child rights in Nigeria. If you're looking for Child Rights Act specifically, you have to filter it. So for it, you must know what you're looking for. You must know the jurisdiction. You must know the most cited. You must know the relevance. Now, narrowing your search will help you find exactly what you are looking for. Now, you have to pay attention to procedural information about the case. Now, some of us just go to law report and read summaries. You go to law report, you read summaries, and you say you've done research. No, you have to read the full case. The research is not what you do in 5 seconds. Now, the same way, how do you answer law questions in your various institutions? Let me ask. That's my top tip, but I want to get, I want you to answer it. When they say, how do you answer law questions? What's your answer? Like, very, very short and snap. How do you answer law questions? I believe I'm talking to law students, right? And I'm sure we all know these things. Okay, have you heard of what is called IRAC or IPAC? Thank you very much, Nathan. Thank you very much, Clinton. IRAC. That same way you answer your IRAC questions is the way you do your legal writing. You have to raise the issue you are looking at. What is the research thesis? What is the research thesis you are looking at? What is your line of argument? That forms your issue. You look at the rules that apply to it. Then how has the courts applied these rules? How has these rules been applied over the years? And then you come to conclusion. So organize your research and writing using IRAC method. The IRAC format will help you. Teaching IRAC answering of questions is a whole lesson of its own. It's not what I will go into now, but I'm sure you guys already know it. Of course, when you raise your issues in a research work, address every issue. Most of you will say, I don't know how to write articles, or I don't know how to write articles, but you do your assignments. Of course, except for those who go getting people to do their assignments for them. But you do your assignment. So that means research is what you do. And when you write the assignment, you write it in IRAC format. Make sure you address every issue before you get to the next. Every issue must be addressed. The next point I have here is you must be mindful of your tone and your audience. I've said this before. Your audience will determine your writing style. Your audience will determine what tone you are writing. Of course, you're going to take seriously trainings on research writing. You can't learn everything about research writing in 1 minute. You can't learn it in one session. We can't learn it in the 1 hour we are supposed to spend here. You have to keep learning. You have to keep doing training and retraining. Yeah, Joy has answered it. I is for issues. I've said it. R is for rules and the rest of that. So, but in research, if you want to be a good researcher, you must continue going for trainings. Yes, I've had some of my articles published on international journals, and I've had quite a number in local journals as well. And I've had some on social media as well. But then I still go for research writing trainings. I've not stopped getting trained. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is, if you want to pursue a career in research, is there money? You want to pursue a career? Are there career paths for you to pick in research, even as a lawyer? And the answer is yes. You've heard of people who are legal assistants to judges. You can be LA to a judge. You can be a legal advisor to a member of the National Assembly. You can be legal advisor. You can do a lot of things. You could write and get paid. There are sites where if you pass their exams, they give you screenings. If you pass their exams and they take you in, they give you writing jobs to do. You write and you get paid. So there is money in research, but it's very stressful. It can also give you joy if you're somebody that likes reading and writing. Finally, for you to be a good writer, you must be a good reader. If you've not read other people's articles, don't expect that people read yours, because yours will not follow any pattern. So if you haven't been reading and you've been trying to scribble down things, start reading now. Now, research is not copying another person's work. Of course, you know plagiarism is an academic crime. Research is different from just going and lifting somebody's work and putting it as your own. It's totally, totally different. So you must be very careful It's a crime to copy people's works without acknowledgement. So research doesn't mean going to copy somebody's work or going to copy from textbooks and point it out. No. Any line, any sentence that is not your own in any research work must be duly acknowledged. Now, there are different writing styles depending on the school, depending on the jurisdiction. In Nigeria, most universities adopt the North Writing Citation Guidelines, and that is what you use. Some use the Scholar Guidelines, some use the Oxford, some use the Harvard, a lot of them. Some use APA. So you have to know the writing style of the journal of your audience, of people you are writing for. So having said that, I would entertain your questions, and probably as we interact, more tips will come from there. Thank you very much. Who is the moderator now? Is it Joy or Solomon?
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
I'm open for questions. I'm open for questions. I actually discuss better when people ask their questions. It will help us know what areas that they really need more explanation. So I'm open for questions now.
Thank you so much, sir. Please, if you have any question, please raise your hand, or you can pass it to the comment section. And if you want to use the mic, you can unmute the mic.
I have a question. My hands are, I think my hand is up. If
Please
you
go
can hear
ahead.
me.
Go ahead, I can hear you.
Okay. So my question is on the area of research. While making an article, and you actually do not know much about that particular topic, like the topic is strange to you, is there any restriction? Because some of this thing, and the research is on individual, and hearsay information is not a direct information that one could rely on. So in such situation,
I don't understand what you mean by individual. Sorry, what do you mean by individual? That the research is individual?
Like you are making a research about a particular person, like a personality that you don't have a contact with. So every information you want to get lifts about the person is just one's article that already been dropped online, but you didn't hear direct from the person. Is such research reliable?
It depends on what you're using the research for. Of course, that is not a legal research. Researching on somebody, probably you want to write a biography or something on the person. So when you did, the point is, if you've taken something from the internet that is not your own, another person has written that, acknowledge authorship, acknowledge the person who wrote that. Say, according to Ikechukwu Akpakpa 2000, he said that Kenechukwu is this and this and this and this. That makes you a good researcher. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yes, but in the case of this popular tweets online, screenshotting a particular statement made by an individual trying to make I'm asking this based on property law, rights. So instead of snapping a statement made by someone and reposting without recognizing the person or the area where you lifted the information, is that right?
You have to say, for research, the key word is anything that is not from you. You have to acknowledge who said it. If not, you're an academic thief, and you've committed academic theft.
Yes, sir.
Whatever is not your own, even if the person wrote it on a WhatsApp group. So the right thing to do is on so date 2021, I came in a WhatsApp group argued that I agree with him or I disagree with him. Simple. When you don't know the author, you can say an anonymous author or in a post going viral, but you must have to say where you got it from. They are not your words.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ike. How do you explore journal in library to get articles in line with the topic? Yeah, first you have to know the topic you are writing. Then look for journals. When you pick up a journal, I think I have one, so I'll just show you what that. So this is a Nile University Law Journal, right? And every journal has a list of topics in it. So when you look at the table of content, you will see the topics and the authors. So that helps you to know if that journal is what you want to work with. So when you pick that journal and you're writing on, say, for instance, self-defense, the first topic here is on self-defense. So, okay, this person has written on self-defense, you read it. But you do not research just from one article in a journal. Standard practice, for you to do an article, you must have read at least 20, in the minimum, 20 other articles in that area.
Okay. So we sincerely want to appreciate you for your time and also apologize for the whole network issue. So many persons are experiencing network problem, and that's why the turnout tonight is not really much.